Crikey, what a day for adventure. The air was crisp, the sky painted with the first golden rays of morning, and the world seemed to buzz with possibility. Let me tell you about Max, a young explorer with a wild heart and a mind full of dreams. He was the sort of kid who saw every day as a new chance to discover something magical. Max lived on the edge of a vast, mysterious forest, where his grandfather spun tales of the legendary hidden lake, a secret jewel only the animals knew. Each story was more enchanting than the last, filling Max's imagination with wonder. Those stories became Max's quest, a secret mission he carried in his heart. He'd spend hours tracing his grandfather's old maps, his fingers following winding rivers and hidden paths, dreaming of the cool, clear waters and ancient trees that waited somewhere deep in the woods. Today, with the sunrise painting the sky in brilliant colors, Max decided this was the day he'd finally set out. The world felt alive, as if it was cheering him on. He packed water, apples, and the treasured map, his hands trembling with nerves, but his heart pounding with excitement. Every item felt important, like a key to unlocking the forest's secrets. Standing at the forest's edge, he paused for a moment, taking a deep breath of the earthy, pine-scented air, ready for his own epic journey to begin. The promise of the hidden lake pulled him forward, not for treasure, but for the adventure itself, for the thrill of the unknown and the hope of discovery. He wanted to feel the soft moss beneath his feet, hear the chorus of birds high in the treetops, and see sunlight dancing through the leaves like golden confetti. With hope in his heart and courage in his step, Max entered the wild, determined to turn legend into memory and to discover what wonders awaited beyond the trees. Max crossed from his backyard, heart pounding with excitement, into the forest, and the world around him transformed completely. Cool, earthy air and golden shafts of sunlight greeted him beneath the towering trees. He moved slowly, eyes wide with wonder, noticing every detail: the mossy logs, the busy ants, the ancient gum trees. The forest's sounds replaced the town's noise. Birds chattered, leaves rustled, and a kookaburra laughed in the distance. Max felt his nerves melt away, replaced by a deep sense of peace and belonging. He followed a faint animal track, letting his curiosity guide him forward. Every step was a new discovery, every breath a taste of wild freedom and adventure. He wasn't just walking through the forest, he was truly part of it now. The adventure had truly begun, and Max was ready for whatever came next. Deeper in, Max realized he wasn't alone. A rainbow-bright rosella watched him, then flashed away in a burst of color. He spotted an echidna snuffling for ants and watched quietly, respecting its space. In a sunlit clearing, a mob of kangaroos grazed. Max paused, nodded respectfully, and the big male accepted him. These encounters filled Max with awe. He was being welcomed by the forest's true residents. The animals weren't obstacles, they were fellow travelers, guides on his journey. Each meeting made him feel less alone, more connected to this wild world. The forest was alive, a thriving community, and Max was its newest guest. He moved quietly, grateful for every moment. These weren't just animals, they were part of his adventure. Max felt a warm sense of belonging. The forest was sharing its secrets with him. Every adventure needs a challenge, and Max soon found his, a babbling brook, too wide to jump. The gentle rush of water over smooth stones filled the air, making the brook seem alive, whispering secrets only the forest could understand. Max hesitated, feeling the weight of the moment. This wasn't just a stream, it was a test, a barrier between him and the mysteries that lay ahead. The water sparkled, beautiful, but blocking his path. Sunlight danced on the ripples, making the brook look almost magical, but also reminding Max that nature could be both enchanting and challenging. Max scanned the banks, recalling his grandfather's advice. Nature always gives you an answer. He took a deep breath, letting the sounds of the forest calm his nerves, and searched for a way across. Downstream, he spotted a mossy log bridging the brook. It looked old but sturdy, covered in green velvet moss, as if nature herself had placed it there just for him. Testing its strength, he balanced carefully, arms out, heart pounding. Each step felt like a leap of faith, the log creaking softly beneath his feet. Halfway across, a wobble nearly sent him tumbling, but he steadied himself and pressed on. The world seemed to hold its breath as he regained his balance, determined not to give up. With a final step, he made it, triumphant and grinning. Relief and pride washed over him, stronger than the current below. It seemed small, but to Max, it was a huge victory. He had faced his fear and found a way forward, proving to himself that he could overcome obstacles. He'd solved the problem himself, using courage and quick thinking. The lesson was clear. Sometimes the answers are right in front of you if you're willing to look. The hidden lake felt closer than ever. Each step brought him nearer to his goal, and the adventure felt more real with every challenge he overcame. Max felt stronger, more capable, a true adventurer. The forest no longer seemed so daunting. Instead, it felt like a place of endless possibilities. He looked back at the brook, proud of his accomplishment. That simple crossing had changed him, even if just a little. Every challenge was making him braver. With each obstacle, his confidence grew, and so did his excitement for what lay ahead. Onward, with new confidence, he continued his quest, eager to see what other adventures the forest had in store. The ground sloped upward. Max faced a grassy hill, the last barrier before the lake. The climb was tough, his legs burned, and he paused to catch his breath. But each step revealed more of the world behind him. A sea of green, his house a distant speck. The view inspired him to push on, hands grabbing grass and rocks, feeling like a mountaineer. He imagined his grandfather cheering him. "You can do it, mate." This was more than a walk. It was a test of spirit. With a final push, Max reached the summit. He stood tall, breathing in the fresh air, the world spread out below. Pride swelled in his chest. He'd conquered the hill. The hidden lake was just ahead, waiting for him. From the hilltop, Max finally saw it, a flash of dazzling blue nestled among ancient pines. The hidden lake, just as his grandfather described, shimmered below. Max stood mesmerized, joy bubbling up as he realized he'd found it. He raced down the slope, eyes locked on the water. Up close, the lake was even more magical, crystal clear, dragonflies darting, air fresh and cool. No footprints, no signs of people, just untouched nature. Max knelt at the shore, dipping his hand in the cool water, laughing as he splashed his face. He'd turned legend into reality. Looking at his reflection, he saw not just a boy, but an explorer. The journey had changed him. This was his discovery, his secret paradise. The adventure was real, and so was his courage. Max, the explorer, had arrived. Max lingered by the lake, soaking in its peace. The gentle lapping of water against the shore and the soft rustle of leaves overhead made the world feel still, as if time itself had slowed just for him. He watched ducks glide effortlessly across the glassy surface, fish leaping in playful arcs, and felt the place come alive around him. Every sound and movement seemed to welcome him, as if the lake was sharing its secrets. He thought of his grandfather, eager to share every detail. The brilliant Rosella perched nearby, the way the sunlight danced on the water, and the sense of wonder that filled his heart. The echidna shuffling through the undergrowth, the kangaroos grazing quietly, the old log bridge arching over a bubbling stream. Each moment was a story waiting to be told. And then, the breathtaking view from the hill, where the whole lake sparkled below, surrounded by wild beauty as far as the eye could see. Most of all, he'd tell him the lake was real, more magical than any story, more beautiful than he'd ever imagined. The mist rising at dawn made it feel like a place from a dream. Max had kept his promise, and pride filled his heart. He felt a quiet joy, knowing he'd honored his word and discovered something truly special. As the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the sky in gold and pink, he knew it was time to go. The day was ending, but the memory would last forever. He took one last look, promising to keep the lake's secret safe. It was a promise not just to his grandfather, but to the land itself. The adventure had given him purpose, a responsibility to protect wild places, to cherish the wonders that so many never see. Walking home through the quiet forest, Max felt changed, braver, stronger, and part of something much bigger than himself. The world seemed wider, full of possibility. He'd found the hidden lake, but more importantly, he'd found his own adventurous spirit and a sense of belonging in the wild. And that, crikey, was the greatest treasure of all, a heart full of wonder and a promise kept.